Today we're going to discuss the CBA provisions that apply to vacancy locks and how they affect pilots who are involuntarily displaced from their current domicile or seat, as well as those who voluntarily choose to bid for a different category. Section 9E states, in part, involuntarily displaced pilots will not incur any lock due to their displacement and subsequent award. As an example, in the September 2020 vacancy bid, several first officers were displaced to Los Angeles Domicile ETOPS Bid Group, or EBG. These displaced pilots are free to bid into another base and/or seat whenever their bid choice is available. Note the displacement, which is annotated by a D in the displacement column, and the lack of an E in the locked column for these pilots. This contrasts with several pilots who voluntarily chose to bid from the non-ETOPS domicile into the LAX ETOPS bid group and who are now subject to the 6-month lock covered in Section 9E2A. This category lock is annotated by an E in the locked column. However, there are some situations that release a pilot from the ETOPS lock, such as upgrade. A lock will not prohibit a first officer from bidding and being awarded a captain position. This applies to any first officer, regardless of their seat lock status. Training requirements. 9E2A states that an EBG lock only applies if the required ETOPS training consists of a multi-day training event. For example, a pilot who was previously based in an EBG and, after his lock expired, bid either to upgrade or to a non-ETOPS domicile and then bid back into an EBG would not incur an additional 6-month lock, as long as his ETOPS qualification had not expired because he did not require additional multi-day training. Displacement. This is found in Section 9E2B and allows for the lock to be removed from any pilot who is involuntarily displaced from an EBG. New hires. Section 9E2C states that any new hire will not be locked into the ETOPS bid group if it was his last preference on his vacancy bid. Bidding between EBG domiciles. Section 9E2D allows for locked EBG pilots to bid between domiciles which contain EBGs. For example, in the September 2020 vacancy bid, this pilot, whose 6-month ETOPS lock has not yet expired, was allowed to bid from Oakland EBG to the LAX EBG, and the 6th bid period lock does not extend any further. The final caveat is that, at the company's discretion, ETOPS locks may be removed before their expiration date. All the locks we've talked about so far are for domiciles. We have not yet talked about seat locks, meaning the captain versus the FO seat. Per Section 9E1, a captain who bids back to first officer is locked in the right seat for 4 bid periods.